The tension in the throne hall could be felt as a pressure behind the eyes, like the air itself was holding its breath. Massive crystalline pillars stretched toward a domed ceiling that shimmered with swirling galaxies, each nebula rotating in slow, gentle spirals. It was a room designed to intimidate, to remind visitors that they stood before a civilization older than most star clusters. Jack stood in the center of it, armored but exhausted, his uniform torn from the battles that had led him here. Peace negotiations with the Vaelorians had been impossible for months. The war had dragged on too long. Both sides were bleeding. He did not expect this moment to be his last hope. Queen Arali of Vaeloria sat upon her throne, tall, elegant, silver-skinned, and crowned with bioluminescent filaments that shifted like flames. Her eyes glowed with intelligence older than human civilization. At her side stood Princess Sarah, half human, half Vaelorian, a rare hybrid, a symbol of hope or chaos, depending on who interpreted her existence. Sarah's dark hair contrasted sharply with her mother's luminous skin, but her violet eyes were unmistakably Vaelorian. Jack had heard rumors about her. He never imagined she'd be central to peace itself. Queen Arali's voice echoed, powerful and resonant. "If you want peace, you will marry my daughter, human." The words struck Jack like a plasma bolt. His throat tightened. What?" Even the Vaelorian guards stiffened. The counselors began whispering among themselves in frantic tones. Sarah's cheeks flushed violet, a Vaelorian sign of embarrassment or anger, or both. She glanced at her mother sharply before looking away. The queen remained perfectly calm. "Your species is difficult. You fight beyond your limits. You improvise with a creativity that borders on insanity. You fear nothing, not even extinction." She paused, her luminous gaze never leaving Jack's face. "We have come to respect that. But the war must end, and unity must be enforced." Jack breathed out, steadying himself. "With marriage? It is the oldest diplomatic method in the galaxy," Arali replied. "A bond between bloodlines. A merging of futures." Sarah finally spoke. "Mother, you can't just—" Arali raised a graceful hand. Sarah fell silent, though her eyes burned with silent rebellion. Jack looked at Sarah, then back at her mother. Sarah was striking, strong posture, observant eyes, and a quiet fire that reminded him of human resolve. But marriage? To end a war? This wasn't diplomacy. This was madness. "Your high command will agree," Arali added. "I have already contacted them." Jack's breath hitched. Of course they would agree. Humanity wanted peace at any cost. And Jack was their representative, their soldier, their pawn. But he wasn't going to accept without understanding. "Why me?" he asked quietly. "Why not someone else?" Arali's expression softened. "Because my daughter chose you." Silence fell heavier than before. Jack's head snapped toward Sarah, eyes wide. Sarah immediately glared at her mother. "That is not what I said." The queen tilted her head. "You said he was the kind of human who could change galaxies. Those were your exact words." Sarah's cheeks flared brighter. "That was an academic observation. I didn't mean marriage." Jack stared at her, unable to stop the corner of his mouth from lifting. Even in this mess, she spoke with a kind of sharp honesty that cut through the chaos. Queen Arali watched both of them with a knowing expression. "This war began due to fear," Arali said, "but fear is neutralized by familiarity, understanding, and nothing bonds two species more effectively than a shared future, a shared family." Jack swallowed hard. "Peace? In exchange for my life?" he murmured. Sarah stepped forward. "It's not your life, Jack. It's your choice." Her voice was softer now, calmer. Jack found himself meeting her gaze. Up close, her eyes were beautiful, deep, endless violet, like amethyst set aflame. He'd fought so hard for peace, lost friends for it, survived battles that should have killed him. If this choice gave the galaxy a chance to breathe again, could he refuse? But he needed one more thing. "Princess Sarah," he said carefully, "do you want this?" Sarah hesitated, her fingers curled at her sides. Her breathing steadied. "I want the war to end," she said. "And, I won't lie, you impressed me on the battlefield. You saved Valorian children without hesitation. You argued against your own commander when he ordered you to bomb civilians. You—" She stopped herself, exhaling softly. "You're the kind of human I could respect." Respect. The foundation of something real. Jack nodded slowly. Queen Arali watched with the patience of someone who had already predicted the future. Sarah continued, quieter now. "But I won't marry someone who feels forced. I won't start a future with resentment." Jack looked between mother and daughter, then at the throne hall, where the fate of two civilizations was balanced on the edge of his decision. He finally straightened. "I won't marry for politics," Jack said. "But I'll consider it if Sarah chooses it too, not as a demand, but as a partnership." Queen Arali's smile widened, proud and ancient. "Then speak with her. Alone." The queen swept out of the hall, guards following like shadows. Now only Sarah and Jack remained. For a long moment neither spoke. Then Sarah exhaled. "My mother is dramatic." "Really?" Jack said, deadpan. "I hadn't noticed." Sarah laughed, a sound like chimes struck by a warm breeze. She stepped closer, observing him. "You're brave, stubborn, a danger to your own lifespan." "Thanks, I guess." She shook her head. "I don't know if marriage is the answer, but I do know you're someone I could walk beside, even in difficult times." Jack felt something unfamiliar shift in his chest. Hope. He extended his hand toward her. "Then let's start with trust, and see where it leads." Sarah looked at his hand, hesitated, then placed hers gently in his. A spark of bioluminescent energy flared between their palms. A Valorian bonding reaction, unplanned, natural. She gasped softly. "That's new." Jack smiled. "Guess we're already breaking rules." Sarah squeezed his hand. Maybe that's what the galaxy needs. Above them, the domed ceiling shimmered, stars swirling faster, brighter. Not war, not surrender, but the fragile beginning of a future. Together.